This news update is brought to you by...
Got kids? Then you need video on demand from Flow, with hours of entertaining shows and movies for boys and girls of all ages. There's always something to watch. Simply press the VOD button on your Flow remote. This is how we do TV. This is how we Flow.
This is the Barbados Today Evening News for Thursday, January 14. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. Our top story, no more stalling. That was the order issued today by Chairman of the Employment Rights Tribunal, Gollop QC, as the much-anticipated case of the dismissed National Conservation Commission workers resumed before the ERT. There were several clashes between Gollop and the NCC lawyer, Mitch Codrington.
I am presiding here, so do not use that kind of language to the tribunal. The tribunal doesn't descend anywhere. The tribunal assesses the situation and rules on relevance. I have ruled that it is not relevant to the proceedings.
I am not sure.
Counsel,
and that is not
a presiding officer in any quasi-judicial or judicial manner decides when or what is getting into it. I have decided that it is not relevant to the proceedings, and that is the end of the matter.
But Gollop insisted there would be no further adjournments and the case must go forward. Former Shadow Health Minister Dr. Maria Agard says recent maternal deaths at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital is a tragic reminder that Barbados is slipping on a number of critical fronts. Dr. Agard says she's not surprised at the two deaths. She also pointed to the findings of the 2013 UNICEF State of the World's Children report, in which Barbados registered 51 maternal deaths per 100,000 live births, its highest in 20 years.
It ought not to be a knee-jerk reaction, but that we need to have a systematic probe into what is happening. Because if it is that in 2010 there were 51 maternal deaths per 100 live births, and that is the highest that it had been in 20 years. Even from back then, there should have been the necessary probes to ascertain why this was happening and to address the situation.
Telecommunications company Digicel is being criticized for raising some of its rates and prepaid data packages shortly after announcing it would absorb the 4.5% increase in value-added tax on cell phone use. Digicel said on January 7th that it would not pass on the tax increase to customers, but the following day it posted new rates for prepaid mobile phones, and the marketing executive of Digicel Barbados Limited, Mark Messiah, confirmed the changes, saying the company introduced a small price adjustment to its prepaid calling rates and it announced it online as customary. There's been mixed reaction from affected residents to plans by the Water Resources Management Minister, Dr. David Estwick, to address the ongoing water woes. Residents of several parishes have been struggling with no water for weeks.
They may tell us the truth. They may tell us the truth. He ain't listening to nothing that he have to say. For we to get good water and get that water on, we will have to put in a Democratic in St. Peter. And that's what all you ain't doing.
It take too long. They don't just 2 and 3 weeks or 5 weeks before you can get something done.
So
these people only talk, but they don't do nothing about it.
Well, if he want to do that and he believe it's gonna work, I can't say that it will work or it can't work. But the thing is a threat, and if it work, we go with it. But right now I can't say that it will work or I can't say it can't work. But nothing beats a trial. So we will go with the flow.
You believe that there's a political matter? That politics have something to do with it?
No, this is not a political thing. This is about the nation, it's about Barbados, it's about us, all of we. It is. I won't say that it's a political thing because I would hate to believe that people, because of a particular party or affiliated with a particular party, will come to, deprive your water because of political issues, but I won't say it's a political issue.
There are calls for better lighting and security on the Richard Haynes Boardwalk after 2 tourists were attacked there earlier this week. UK visitors Jenna El-Husseini and her daughter Dana Chowdhury were accosted on Monday night. Trevor Agard, of no permanent address, has been jailed for 2.5 years for the attack. Consultant in the Ministry of Tourism, Hugh Foster, tells Barbados Today something needs to be done to make the area safer for visitors and locals.
My own personal view is that it should be lit. And I would like to also see, I know the policemen, I think in the area was asking Dan about that, because they've got these, is it called segways? These things that you move around on. The policemen actually have those here for patrolling the boardwalk. But you say you didn't see them at night. I don't know exactly what the situation is with that. You know, that would be a question the police would have to answer. But I certainly would like to see that place better lit and more police patrols in the area.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Maniki Music Festival presents 5 amazing shows from January 13th to 17th, 2016. On January 13th at Holders, we salute Urban Burgee with Island in the Sun by Stefan Walcott's 1688 Big Band. On the 14th, our free Sunset Concert at Frank Cullimer Hall with the Rudy Smith Quartet. Reggae legend band Aswad takes over Holders on January 15th. On January 16th, the Nicholas Branker Orchestra and Grammy Award winner Roberta Flack return to Holders. Finally, at Maniki on Sunday, January 17th, Caribbean Fusion in the Hills with Edwin Yearwood, Leston Paul, Ras Eiley, and Serenader. Others include Nikita, Mylan Clark, Rhea Driggs, Vanessa Lee, and many more. General admission tickets from $70 and $250 for VIP.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
In news from the region, as one major oil company announces job cuts, Trinidad's Prime Minister Keith Rowley is calling on businesses to ensure that the decision to send home workers is one of last resort. Rowley's call follows an announcement by BHP Billiton of plans to cut its workforce. We get the details in this report from TV6 News.
BHP Billiton has won several deepwater bidding rounds and they're now in charge of over 21,000 square kilometers of deepwater. Now, could cutbacks mean a decline in exploration? The future of the sector is set to hinge on it. Efforts to question officials directly were unsuccessful. But the release from BHP simply says they remain committed to their ongoing operations and they'll just do it with a, quote, smaller, more focused organization. That means 6 positions, 2 of which are offshore jobs, will be eliminated. How many workers that is remains to be seen. BHP Billiton says they're examining current and future business. They'll try to optimize both staffing and cost to make appropriate adjustments. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley now hopes there will not be a chain reaction.
So we, as a government, we are asking our business people in the oil industry and elsewhere, because they're all connected, to try as far as possible to not let this pressure on job losses be the first reaction to the challenges. But as the circumstances keep growing in that direction, there will inevitably be some loss.
Scientists from the University of Southampton say they have found evidence of a previously unknown large volcanic eruption in the Caribbean Sea. The findings, which are published in the journal Geology, say the scientists identified an eruption that occurred in Guadeloupe 2.4 million years ago. The researchers say this indicates that this was the largest documented volcanic event in the region since that time. A rare hurricane has formed over the Atlantic. The U.S.-based National Hurricane Center today named Hurricane Alex, which is 785 miles southwest of the Azores. It is one of the earliest tropical storm systems to form in the Atlantic since records began. Meanwhile, another tropical storm has formed over the Pacific. and that's another rare storm at this time of year. Scientists are linking the storms to powerful winds and high sea surface temperatures resulting from an unusually strong El Niño phenomenon this year. And finally, ISIS militants are claiming responsibility for a series of explosions and gunfire in the Indonesian capital that claimed at least 7 lives. But the president is urging the public to remain calm following the attacks. The blasts were centered around a major shopping and business district close to foreign embassies and the United Nations offices. At least 2 civilians and 5 of the attackers were killed. Police say the situation is now under control. More in this BBC report.
From high above, nervous onlookers watched in disbelief as the attack unfolded. First an explosion, then gunfire. It was a battle in the main street running through central Jakarta. Suddenly there was panic, another bomb. And the crowds of shoppers and office workers scattered. But it wasn't over. The attackers then targeted a police box and engaged officers in a sustained exchange of gunfire. At this stage, they had no idea how many gunmen they were dealing with. One of the perpetrators was caught here, chillingly on camera. Armoured vehicles were deployed, and within 5 hours, the authorities declared that it was all over. 5 of the attackers lay dead, along with 2 of their victims.
That's the news. There's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also tune into Channel 101 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news and sports. I am Maricla Williams. Good evening.